way sewing machine works, big picture, there's an upper thread and there's a lower thread. We're going to take care of the lower thread first by winding a bobbin. We're going to take off our removable storage compartment and we're going to open the hinged door right here to reveal the bobbin compartment. And I'm going to take out the bobbin case, which is this metal piece right here. I'm going to grab the hinged latch and pull it out. And inside I will find a bobbin, which is essentially like a baby spool that we're going to fill with thread. When you are working with your machine, you have a few spare bobbins that come with the machine, but if you need to get more, you want to make sure that you get Singer Class 15 transparent bobbins. Those are the bobbins that are compatible with this machine, and these will make it sew the best. Once you grab your bobbin, we're going to set that aside for now, and we're going to go into our storage compartment and find our spool cap, our thread spool cap, which looks like this. We're going to take our thread that we're using for our sewing project. We're going to put it on the spool pin, which is this horizontal bar right here, and we're going to put the spool cap on so the thread stays on. If we look at the top of our machine, there are some diagrams showing the thread path for winding a bobbin, and they're actually shown with a dotted line. So the very first stop is this thread guide right here. We're going to go right into the thread guide, like this. The next stop is this piece that looks like a screw. This is the bobbin winding tension disc. You want to take the thread and you want it to go under the head of the little screw and above this little washer. So it's kind of like flossing. You want to get the thread right in there under the screw so that there's a little bit of resistance or tension on it when you pull on it. We're going to take the tail of the thread and we're going to look at the bobbin and find the holes in the flat sides. There's no top or bottom, it doesn't matter which side that you choose. You're going to take the tail of the thread and go up through one of those little holes. So we're going into the hole from the inside of the bobbin and then coming out the top. We will hold onto the tail and we'll come over here to the bobbin pin. This is for winding a bobbin. We're going to push the bobbin down, it will snap in place, and you want to make sure that you push it all the way down on the bobbin pin. Otherwise you might accidentally wind thread under the bobbin, and we don't want to do that. To tell the machine that we're going to wind a bobbin, we need to pop this pin over to the right, like that. Once you do all those things, you're ready to start winding. So you're going to hold onto the tail, above and out of the way, make sure you don't let go of it, and we're going to push on the pedal. Once you've wound for a few seconds and the thread tail is buried, you can go ahead and trim off the tail close to the bobbin, and then just keep winding. Now that the tail is buried, it's not going to come unraveled. The machine will stop when the bobbin is full, so you can just fill it until it stops. Or you can stop sooner if you want, if you don't need very much thread. Once you're finished winding, you're going to undo what you did, so you'll pop the bobbin pin back over, take the bobbin off, and cut the thread anywhere to separate it. Now you have a beautifully wound bobbin. We're going to put that aside for now and focus on the upper thread. So before we thread the upper thread, there's two things that we need to check. We want to make sure that the presser foot is up, so the presser foot lifter is up. That's this lever right here. I want to make sure that that's in the up position. The second thing to check is the take-up lever. You want to make sure that little silver hook is popping out of the top of the machine. And if it's not, you can turn the hand wheel towards you until you see the take-up lever sticking out of the top of the machine. Once those two things are set, you can start threading. Just like with the bobbin, there are numbers and little diagrams on the machine to help you remember where the thread goes. So the very first stop is the same, so it's this little thread guide right here. Then we're going to go behind this white piece. We're going to go down in this channel where there's a number 2. We're going to do a U-turn around number 3. For the take-up lever, we're going to mimic exactly what this arrow at number 4 is doing. So we're going to start on the right, we're going to go back, over, and forward. And it's really important that the thread gets into the front of the take-up lever, so you want to make sure that that happens, that it catches into the front. The last stop before the needle is a little thread guide right above the needle. It's a horizontal bar. The easiest way to get the thread in there is to hold it horizontally and think of it again like flossing and just slip it right over that bar so that it's caught behind it. This machine has an automatic needle threader, which is pretty awesome. It's going to help you get the thread through the eye of the needle. The most important part of using that is making sure that the needle is in the highest position before you try to use it. So you can wiggle the hand wheel around if you need to and just make sure that the needle is all the way at the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to catch the thread on this silver hook right there. We're going to push the needle threader down. A little tiny hook goes through the eye of the needle, and we're going to slide the thread back in between these two prongs, and then we'll let go of the needle threader. And a little loop pops to the eye of the needle. You can just grab that and pull the thread tail the rest of the way through, and your needle is threaded. Very easy. So we're almost done getting our machine set up to sew. The last thing is inserting the bobbin. So we have our bobbin that we wound. Now we need to put it into the machine. So your hinged cover should be open from when we took out the bobbin case. So you're going to grab the bobbin case and you're going to hold it with the little finger pointed up at 12 o'clock and the open side facing you. You want to hold the bobbin so that the tail of the thread coming off makes the number 9 shape. So if you imagine the thread tail is the stem of the 9 and it's kind of coming down off the right side of the bobbin. And holding the bobbin just like that, we're going to drop it into the case. And there's a groove that you need to find that's on the edge of the metal bobbin case, and you want to pull the thread into that groove under the metal tab until it snaps into this open space right here. So you want to hear it snap, but you also want to visually make sure that it's centered in this open space. It's very important. After you get it in, you can pull in the thread just to make sure you have it in right. The bobbin should spin clockwise as you pull in the thread. Now that we have our bobbin in the case, we can put the case back in the bobbin holder. So you want to hold it still so the little finger is pointed up at 12 o'clock. You can hold it by the hinged little latch right there, and we're going to slide it right into the bobbin holder. And there's a notch on the bobbin holder at 12 o'clock that matches that little finger, so you want to make sure that it lines up with that, and you can push it all the way in until the bobbin is seated in there. Very last step, we need to draw up the bobbin thread. So to do that, we're going to hold the upper thread with our left hand, and we're going to hand crank through a full stitch. So remember to turn the hand wheel towards you. We're going to turn this until the needle goes all the way down and comes all the way back up. And if you pull with your left hand a little, you'll see a loop pop up. This loop is the bobbin thread that was just pulled up by the upper thread. So we're going to grab that loop and pull it the rest of the way through to finish the threading process. Then we can put both tails together, slide them under the foot. We're going to close everything up. We're going to put our removable storage compartment back on, and now our machine's all ready to sew.